All the reveals this week, there's a couple of big things that we need to talk about. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that Big Inflate Dragon so you guys don't miss out on more this content. You know, Big Inflate Dragon, I think, is one of the funniest cards that could actually have been printed to work with the new Tri-Realm archetype. Now, Big Inflation Dragon says, hey, on normal summon, you can banish the top 50 cards of your deck. This card's attack becomes 10k till the end of the turn. I want to remind you this is also a wind dragon, so you could technically bridge into this via small world within the new deck and then just turn your entire deck into the banish pile face down, and all of your effects are basically loaded up and good to go. This card is 100% a meme within the Tri-Realm deck. All right, I have seen so many people talk about, hey, we can play Big Inflate Dragon. This is going to be the biggest pile of bricks you could play. But, it's also on a level 8. So I don't know how you guys are really planning on normal summoning a level 8 and then planning on banishing the top 50 of your deck. But I will give you guys this. This is a funny gimmick, and it's definitely feels like one of the funnier little ways of things that you could try to tie into the deck. But the Tri-Realm deck has got some of the coolest ways to just experiment around and showcase the way that this deck is able to be played. I honestly think these new modern decks we got from this upcoming deck build pack are some of the most exciting decks that we've seen within the community that people are wanting to experiment around with. And if it's bringing eyes to a card like Big Inflate Dragon, for example, to get some attention on these decks, well, then let people experiment. Let them try out some of these really funny decks, because that's exactly what you want to be seeing. Now, I believe we have a sponsor to go hear from for this video.
eWin is our trusted gaming chair brand that we've been using for 6 years now, and this is the XL Flash series. This is something that they have been working on for a little while, and as you guys can see, the gaming chair has absolutely full switchability here, giving you the full setup here. As you can also see here on the side, we have our lumbar support, absolutely adjustable. As you can see, there's no levers on the side to annoy us, but as we shift on over here to the side, we have additional comfortable settings to adjust. And of course, we also have a lever down here on the side to fully recline the chair in whichever direction that we're going to need. And discount code MCOOL40, as you will find down below in the description, will actually save you on your purchase. Now, maybe this color isn't for you. eWin also has other colors available. As you can see, we have a pink gaming chair here as well. And to top things off, we also have this version, which was their former Champion series, to give you a little bit more of an upgrade. And if that wasn't enough, there's also the gold for the XL Flash series, also available, giving you a little bit more comfort. And as you can see with this one, this beast absolutely has different cushioning. And of course, like the more recent chairs, these actually come off for adjustability and adjust very, very nicely. You will find discount code MCOOL40 down below with eWin. Check out today and save on your purchase.
So guys, definitely, check out eWin. A discount code will be down below for you guys. So Golden Castle of Strongburg is where we're going next. So Golden Castle Strongburg's another one of those cards that could provide you with a slightly beneficial effect as we're heading into, the ideas of what you could possibly work with. Because it's once per turn during your standby phase, you banish the top 10 cards of your deck face down, and then, this card gets destroyed if you don't. But during your main phase, you can special summon a monster from the deck that specifically lists the Golden Castle Strongburg in its text. And you cannot normal summon or set the turn that you activate this, or, even if this card leaves the field, or all of that. But you get that nice little protection of the opponent not being able to attack you. And, you get to reflect that damage back at your opponent from that monster's attack. This is a cool card. I've seen a few people bringing this up in terms of, actual conversations. The conversations have been, what can we do to make this deck a little bit more consistent? Unfortunately, you have to wait until your standby phase to really get this card ignited to get the best possible advantage off of it. And that's like my only sad complaint about this. I love the idea that you get a protection, you get a body pulled out of the deck. But the thing is, the Xenovator deck can actually play on special summons. The deck is actually quite good at, using E-Telly and then rotating through those bodies to be able to just get some good advantage rolling. And honestly, Golden Castle Strongbird just prevents or gives you the illusion of maybe this is a cool idea, but no, I don't think I will be playing this in my Xenovator deck. Like I said, these were some very early thoughts, but I've not really seen these been sticking around, all that much for some of these ideas. Which brings me to number C6, Chronomaly Chaos Atlantis. So this guy does in fact require 3 level 7 monsters to make it, which, in the Raise Moon deck is not really going to be a problem. Alright, if you activate any of this card's effects, your opponent takes no further damage this turn. But once per turn, we can target one monster your opponent controls, equip it onto this card as an equip spell, whose effect makes this card gain 1,000 attack. And then if it has the C6, it gets the following effect, which is detach 3, send all numbered monsters equipped to this card to the graveyard minimum 1 to make your opponent's life points become 100. I wish that the suck up effect on this was a quick effect. Now, the C6 is not the only one to be up on consideration for the Raise Moon deck. There's also the consideration of Lucky Straight, which is another funny card. Being able just to try to roll the Lucky 7 to be able to do some funny things with is really cool. But also, you're trying to hit it big with that. And I don't know if that's necessarily what you're trying to do. And then Harmonizer Gradial, or the number C76, is also a pretty cool card as well. The multi-attributes, the being able to kind of mode change through things. There is actually quite a lot to be said about that particular card that I like. And I do like having that value as we're kind of rotating through things here, just to make sure that, we can put that very strong pressure on the opponent to try to lock them out of playing the game. I think that is actually definitely the more consistent method to go, is just put pressure on the opponent and then just kind of roll out from there. But yeah, you've got a lot of cool extra deck ideas for the Raise Moon deck, and I'm here for all of them. Now, we need to talk about the Sect archetype and the vanilla monsters of choice that you can bring along for this. This, brings along the good old Legend of Blue Eyes vanilla monsters. Legend of Blue Eyes also means, we can play Blue Eyes itself, which is definitely one of the better vanillas. I don't know why you would try to steer away from playing, that guy himself, but for some reason, people want to play Trihorn Dragon in the deck. Multiple vanilla monsters. So the reason why the Sect deck actually kind of struggles as of filming this is just because, you have to have vanilla monsters in the deck as part of the theme to be able to get, honestly, the best beneficial effects for things. That is my only complaint about the archetype. I do like the fact that they tried to make a new ritual-based archetype to try to turbo through and give you better options. That is wonderful. And you know what, Konami? Good on you for trying to re-experiment around with these older archetypes and trying to bring several different pieces up to speed. That was basically what we needed to see. We needed to see, upgrades and better cards for these sorts of things. But the minute you tied it into vanilla monsters kind of gave people a little bit less of hope for the archetype, which is kind of sad, honestly, because it does feel like it's got some good potential. So here's the kind of taking a step back here and saying, hey, maybe we can try to do something with this and just try to make it, just a little bit more consistent with that last missing card. Because I know a lot of people want this deck to be good, because it seems like it's got the highest ceiling of potential, just kind of going forward with what we've been given. And then, of course, the Winged Dragon Raw. You know, last night's Winged Dragon Raw reveals have opened up so many cool doors to so many different ideas that we can actually finally be able to play. And, you know, this is one of the things that, you know, we can finally bling out, you know, whichever big choice of cards that you want to see. You know, do you want to play your QCR, you know, your Altar, you know, let the rarities express what you want to play within these decks. I think, honestly, that's what the creativity is for. You know, you get the chance to be able to enjoy all of these, you know, cool rarities. Yu-Gi-Oh's built out its legacy of 30 years, and now that we're getting an actual playable Winged Dragon Raw theme, I think that there's going to be a lot of cool things just to kind of be able to unfold here and just be able to see with this theme, because quite honestly, I am excited for this. I am excited, you know, for how we can use the older support being built into the new stuff. You know, will Ancient Chant become playable? You know, will the base Winged Dragon Raw itself, you know, up its consistency and go even crazier? I don't have an answer for you just yet. But, however, I am very much willing to be excited, because having a legal Winged Dragon Raw theme is something we've been waiting for all of these years. So please, take a second to truthfully leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about everything here. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what funny ideas are going to come up here in the future. And you guys stay safe out there. And remember, subscribe, because we're really close to 125.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.